I feel alone. I feel trapped with my emotions of guilt, pain, worries, trauma. In this video, I'm going to review a comment left online by a serving member of the military. I invite you to stick around because you may see a reflection of your life in his words. But I'm also going to give solutions at the end. Now, he is a military man who has been serving for over 20 years. And he writes, I feel alone. I feel trapped with my emotions of guilt, pain, worries, trauma, and the little boy inside me. I fear my damage impacts my children in the way I express myself and teach them. I try so hard, yet feel like I am always failing and letting them down. I want to pause for a moment because it takes a lot for a man to express how he feels. And it takes even more for a military man. Being ex-military, I know from my perspective. So I just want to acknowledge that man who made this comment. Now let's dive in. This is a man still in uniform, still serving, still leading. So he cannot afford to fall apart. He has people depending on him. He has his team in the military depending on him, but he also has his children depending on him. But this is a man who is fighting war on two fronts. One is the external war, the responsibilities of his career. He's trained for that, so that comes almost second nature to him. However, there is that internal war. That is the war of emotions. And here what is interesting about that. Most men have not been trained in the way of their emotions. Sounds familiar to you? Fighting two wars. An external war, your responsibilities, and two, an internal war. That war that you don't speak about. That war that you have been fighting for so long. And in every war, there's collateral damage. In this instance, the collateral damage are his children. And I know, as a man, as a father, I never want to be responsible for imposing any sort of trauma on my children. But there are many instances we may be doing that, and not because we want to, but because we lack the awareness of what we are doing. So in this situation, I truly applaud this man because he is aware. A lot of us may not be aware of what is taking place, how we are affecting our children. So I want you to sit with that. Are you aware of how your actions are affecting those who are closest to you? But this also points to something else, and that is a failure of the organization. The organization prides itself on operational readiness. They have formations that are behind this man. However, there isn't much focus on the development of emotional regulation for the individual, and that is a challenge that we often face in society. The focus is on getting the job done, but what about the persons who are required to get the job done? What about their mental and emotional stability? Because here we have a man who others rely on. Others come to him with their issues. But who can he rely on to take his issues to? Having served 20 years, it is almost expected that you should know what to do if you find yourself in a personal situation that is affecting you. So it is almost difficult for him to comfortably go to his chain of command to share the issues that are affecting him personally. But at some point in time, you are going to reach that fork in the road where you can either make the decision to leave things as they are and hope that they work out, or you can take the other side and make a decision, take action to bring about some sort of change in your life. And that would require you to stop running from what has been plaguing you. Those emotions of fear, of guilt, the trauma, that little boy who is still in you, who is still in all of us. The things that affected that little boy is still affecting the adult you, whether you are aware of it or not. And to address that, it requires awareness. To become aware of where you are, what are your challenges, and how it is affecting you and affecting those around you. So I truly applaud this brother because he has taken that first step to stop running, to address what he is dealing with. And I'm hoping that as I'm sharing this, you could start looking at areas in your life that may be affecting you so that you can become a bit more aware. If you find this conversation valuable thus far, I invite you to leave a comment. Share what you think, or if you have had an experience such as this situation. And if you are currently experiencing a situation like this, here are 2 takeaways that you can use immediately. First one is addressing your children. Sometimes we may forget that our children are thinking, are aware, are observing what is taking place, and they have feelings too. So it is important that we understand from their perspective. So take some time, sit with your children and ask them how they feel when you interact with them in a particular way. I'm going to tell you this. It takes a lot of humility. You may not want to do it because it is something that is different. It may feel rather challenging. It may feel almost painful, but it is necessary for that growth to begin to take place. That is something that you could do in the immediate short term. But in the not so long term, the next one is to address what you are feeling inside. These emotions, the traumas that you experience from your childhood. And that may require sitting with someone. And this should preferably be a man. This can be a friend, a relative, a religious leader, a coach. Feel free to reach out to me. But someone that you can speak to and share what you are going through. Someone who can hold what you are saying in confidence. That is the first step to unpacking these emotions or traumas that has been silently controlling your life. Trust me when I tell you, it is worth it. If you find this conversation valuable, also share it with one other person so that they too can find value. And I will see you in the next one. Peace, brother.